Hi guys, so this is the first in a series of videos on the upper limb. This very first one is going to go over the brachial plexus. Remember, this is a group of nerves in the axilla. That's super fun to dissect because you see the McDonald's M. The way that I learned this was via a mnemonic, which is remember to drink cold beer. So you start with 3 Y's on their side. Middle one goes the opposite direction. And you start with your roots, which is remember. So C5, C6, C7, C8, and T1. Then you go to your trunks, which are the upper or superior, the middle, and the lower or inferior. You go to your divisions, which is a strike and a spare. And then you connect these guys over here. And you have your chords, which are lateral, posterior, and medial. And your branches. The musculocutaneous nerve, which comes off of the lateral cord. Then you have the axillary nerve. Then you have the median nerve. Then you have the radial nerve. And finally, the ulnar nerve. And you'll hear a lot of people talk about the McDonald's M, so I'll just point that out right now. So this is the branches of the brachial plexus make this M, which is the McDonald's M. It's usually what you use to locate the median nerve. So before we move on to these branches, we're going to go over what nerves come off of each of these portions. The remember to drink cold beer, or roots, trunks, divisions, chords, branches. So you have one little guy that comes off of C5. His name is the dorsal scapular. Then you have a little guy that comes off of C5, C6, and C7. His name is the long thoracic. He's important, so remember him. And we have one nerve off of the superior trunk called the nerve to subclavius. I'll let you guys guess what he innervates. And then we got another one off of the superior trunk called the suprascapular nerve. So a good idea when you're going through this, learn this whole brachial plexus, learn the nerves, where they come off of, and then kind of make a chart or note cards for yourself to memorize what these nerves innervate. And then you'll be golden. Absolutely golden. Divisions here. We've got anterior and posterior divisions over here. So basically some of them go behind the axillary artery that you'll see in the lab, and then some of them go in front of it. So you've got anterior and posterior divisions of each of these. So the posterior ones go to the posterior cord. So we go to our cords. We've got our lateral pectoral nerve coming off of the lateral cord. And then we've got 3 branches of the posterior cord, which are the upper subscapular nerve, and these guys are called the middle subscapular nerve and the lower subscapular nerve. The more common name for the middle subscapular nerve is the thoracodorsal nerve. I'm sorry about getting a little cramped in here. So we have upper subscapular nerve, thoracodorsal nerve, and the lower subscapular nerve. So upper subscapular, thoracodorsal or middle subscapular nerve, and lower subscapular nerve coming off of the posterior cord. Then you've got your medial cord, which has 3 branches as well. The medial pectoral, the medial brachial cutaneous, and the medial antebrachial cutaneous. The way I remember these guys is like the first one's least complicated, right? Medial pectoral. Then you add another word, medial brachial cutaneous. Then you add another word, medial antebrachial cutaneous. So it just keeps getting more complicated. So that's how I remembered that one. So when I learned, I kind of learned that these were two groups of three. Then we had two lonely guys. So this guy's lonely, and this guy's kind of weird, so he's lonely. And we got three guys over here. So three groups of three and two lonely guys. Then you got your branches. So this is the first in a series of a couple videos. Make sure you know this before you go on. It's probably good, help for orientation, that kind of thing. Make sure you know this, and then take it to the lab, and you will be golden.